Hey guys, it's Mia and today I'm going to be making a video on my piercings and tattoo experience, going over the prices and the pain and the experience that I had with healing or anything like that. So without further ado, let's get started. I have a list of things on my phone just so I don't forget anything when I'm talking to you guys. So if I'm looking down, that's why. First thing that I'm going to be talking about is my piercing experiences. So the first piercings that I had done were my singles, or just my single lobe piercings. And I got these piercings done when I was around 13 or in middle school, something like that. So I'm not really sure about the pricing or the pain or anything like that, just because I don't remember since it was so long ago. But I got them pierced at Claire's just because I feel like that's just a stereotypical thing that a lot of young kids do when they're first getting their piercings done. And I also feel like a lot of parents just generally don't know about piercing at a tattoo parlor versus piercing at Claire's and the difference between like using a needle or a gun. The second piercings that I got were my double helix, and the price was around $40, so it was like $80 total, which was a pretty good deal for what I got. And I would say that the pain was probably like a 3 out of 5. I remember for my double helixes, when I got the first one done, I was wondering to myself if I really wanted to get the second one done because the first one hurt so bad when it was done. But I went with one of my guy friends who wanted to get his singles pierced, his single lobe piercings done, and I knew he was looking at me to see how I was gauging the pain, so I didn't really want to freak him out by trying to back out of my second piercing, so I just got it done, just got it over with. Pain is temporary and beauty is pain. And also the sad part about it, although it ultimately pretty much healed, I had a lot of trouble with hypertrophic scars with the helix piercing and it getting irritated a lot. But I waited about a year to change out the piercing and it was fine, but I guess I changed it out too many times. I think I changed it out twice or 3 times and it actually got infected. And I know that you're not supposed to take out your earrings when they're infected, because if you take them out and let them heal over, then the infection can get trapped into your piercing. But my swelling had gone over the back of my earring and I was really worried about getting the earring stuck in my ear and trying to get into a hospital during this time with COVID and everything. I just decided to take the risk and take it out myself, which I do not recommend. Here is my healed cartilage. It healed fine. There's no trapping, no nothing. I haven't had any problems with it, so that was good. For my doubles, or my double lobe piercings, which were my third piercings that I got those done kind of early in my first semester of senior year, and the price was pretty expensive. I'm not gonna lie, I do not think that I'm gonna be going back to that shop just because I just can't afford it. And I'm sure they have very good quality jewelry, which they do, and very good piercing methods, but just for me to get my doubles done, it was $125, and then I had to go back in to get my post changed to shorter post, which cost on top of that over $35. So ultimately I spent almost $200 on just getting my double lobes pierced, and for me that's just not worth it. The pain, I would say, was probably a 2 out of 5. It hurt more than I thought it would, more than I would remember it to hurt, just because I didn't remember what my first lobe piercings were like. I was kind of shocked about how much it actually did sting compared to some of my other piercings. But the nice part of my double lobe piercings was that the healing was very easy. It was smooth sailing. I just had to clean it with saline solution with a Q-tip every single night and morning, and right now they're healed and they feel great. Next, the most recent ones, my most recent piercings that I just got actually 2 days ago. The first one is a conch piercing, and the second one is my rook piercing. And I actually got a really good deal on these. The person that did it, who's very amazing, she's an amazing piercer, she charged $75 for getting the piercing done and then jewelry on top of that, which is a really good deal to find. For the conch piercing, I was actually really surprised. The pain for me was probably a 1 out of 5, and I know that the conch piercing is supposed to be one of the more painful areas to get pierced. However, if you have a skilled piercer, it should not hurt almost at all, and it should be done in an instant. I heard that if you get a piercer that does it extremely slowly, that's when you will have the most pain when getting your conch piercing. For my rook piercing, however, I would say that the pain was probably a 2 or 3 out of 5, and that was just my experience. I think that my rook is just harder to get to, or was just harder to pierce for the person that I was getting pierced by, because she, after piercing me, she had to fiddle around a lot with the hoop that I got to try to get to lay flat, which caused more pain to the fresh piercing and just less comfort. I feel like with the conch piercing, I just felt it in that one area, but with the rook piercing, I kind of felt it in the front of my ear, and sometimes I can feel it in the very back of my ear when I like lift it up like this. I would definitely say that the rook piercing is more painful in my opinion than the conch piercing, but definitely not as painful as getting my 2 helix piercings. So far, even though it's only been 2 days, but so far my rook has been fine. Both of them, after I got them pierced, I was expecting them to be red for a while, but both of them cleared up and just looked flesh color pretty much 30 minutes after they were done, which is something that I've never really had happen to me, which really shows the skill of the piercer that I went to. However, my conch piercing recently has gotten very irritated, as you can see with the red, if you can see that. I use my hand to put my hair behind my ear, and that keeps hitting the back of the conch piercing, which is irritating it. So when you do get your conch piercing done, I do recommend you wearing your hair up or out of your face, so that you just don't have that urge to like put it behind your ear or fiddle with anything in that area. In regards to cleaning the conch, I feel like it's easy to get to than cleaning the rook. My rook so far hasn't had any irritations or anything like that, but trying to clean it is very hard because it's at kind of like such an awkward place where I can't really see what I'm doing. So hopefully it will be okay for healing. A piercing that I actually forgot, because it's not on my ear, is my nose piercing. So my nose piercing I got done spontaneously freshman year, I think, and it was probably, I think it was around $40. It was like 30 or 40. It wasn't too bad. And this piercing hurt. I would say it was probably like a 3 out of 5, just because the needle was so long and I wasn't expecting like the sharp pain that I got when I got my nose pierced, and the crying. I don't know why. I didn't watch any videos about getting my nose pierced beforehand, which I should have, but I thought that it was just gonna scare me out of getting it done. I would not want to get my nose pierced again. And I got this done at the same place that I got my double helixes done. Next, moving on to tattoos. So I kind of went through this tattoo craze phase where I literally got probably 4 tattoos in one summer, which I do not recommend. That was a very stupid and very financially irresponsible thing for me to do, especially since I was in high school. The first tattoo that I got was actually the address of where I was abandoned in China, since I'm adopted from China. This was on my abandonment certificate, and I really thought that it was just something that's very integral and literally a part of my history. It was actually done at the same place that I got my rook and my conch pierced, and it was around $100, which I thought was pretty pricey just for font getting done. But overall, the pain was probably, I would say, only a 2 out of 5, even though it's in my ribcage area. There were only some parts, maybe closer to the bone, where it hurt more, but overall I thought it was very tolerable. And also with healing was easy. Just washing it with Dial Gold soap and making sure that I'm moisturizing it with the appropriate moisturizer, not one that's gonna like block it or something like Vaseline or Aquaphor. The second one I got done was completely impulsive. I was driving past with my ex-boyfriend and I saw the tattoo shop and I was like, I want a tattoo. So we literally went around the roundabout back towards the tattoo shop and I got a tattoo. And the tattoo that I got is this Suit Sprite tattoo from Spirited Away, which is my favorite Miyazaki film. The cost was around $65. Since it's such a small tattoo, the shop had a minimum, which is something that you want to look out for when you are looking for tattoos or tattoo shops to go to, because if you want something small, it's always nice for the shop to have a minimum. For me, this was the most painful tattoo. I would say it would be a 4 out of 5. When it was being done, my entire hand went completely numb and I couldn't feel it, and I really wanted him to stop because he was only outlining. And it's pretty ironic because it's the smallest tattoo, well, the second smallest tattoo that I have. But I think it's because since the wrist has very thin skin, it hurts a lot more. So I do not think that I'm going to be getting any tattoos on my wrists again anytime soon. And I was trying to hide this from my parents, which made the tattoo healing process harder because the watch that I had over it actually rubbed up against my skin and took kind of the top half part of the tattoo off. Not off, but to the point that it's more faded on the top half. Keep in mind that I never told my parents about any of my tattoos or piercings, pretty much. They just naturally found out about it and they couldn't do anything about it just because I already had them done. The third tattoo that I got was the Chinese character for mindfulness with flowers around it. They are supposed to be sakura flowers, but they are not, nowhere near them, and I do not know what happened because she showed me the sketch that she wanted to put on my body and it did not come out like it was supposed to. It was done by an individual who does tattoos like by herself. She runs her own shop, and the benefit of that was that it was very cheap to get the tattoo done. It was only around $45. I would say that the pain for me, what I can remember, was 3 out of 5 because I remember thinking when I was getting the tattoo done that I didn't know if I wanted to continue with it because it hurt so bad, but of course I was already like laying down, so I just kept going. But I feel like that one hurt more just because it was more down my rib cage rather than my other one, which was just that kind of like a select section of my rib cage. And for this tattoo, healing was fine. It was just this very stereotypical routine. The fourth tattoo that I got were the dots on my fingers, and I say it's like the fourth tattoo. I just put it all in as one just because they're just dots on like one of my hands, so it's just easier that way. And I got these done for free by one of my friends. She just came over with a needle and ink and went at it. It's called Stick and Poke, and she does a lot of them on herself and some other friends as well, so I just really trusted her with doing it. I was kind of worried about getting irritation and or an infection, but they healed fine. They were perfectly fine. For me, I would say that the pain was probably a 4 out of 5. Again, not as bad as I would say the wrist tattoo was, but it does hurt. You're repeatedly poking with a needle at your fingers, which is very bony. And I know that with regular tattoo needles, you're continuously poking, but the tattoo needle is different feeling than just a plain old needle. I don't know how to explain that professionally, but just know that it hurts a lot more to get a stick and poke. And again, as I said, the healing was fine. And then the fifth and final tattoo that I have so far is a tattoo inspired by The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur, which is a book that talks about struggles with mental illness, depression, and anxiety. And I got this done at the shop that I got my doubles from, and it actually cost the same amount as getting my double piercings done. It was around $125. For me, the pain was a 1 out of 5. It didn't feel like anything pretty much when it was done. However, when he would wipe away the ink, he did it in such an aggressive way that I felt like my skin was being rubbed raw. And at that point, it was literally probably a 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5 pain. And I really wanted to tell him to stop. And again, for this tattoo, healing was very easy. So that is all of my piercing and tattoo experiences. I hope that this helped you either think about what piercings you're gonna get, think about what tattoos you're gonna get, or give you any information that you needed to help you with anything involving that. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and comment and help my channel grow. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day or night. Bye guys!